Hello, it's Alison, the occupational therapist here at Pendleside Hospice. I'm going to just do another quick 15-minute talk on managing our energy and energy conservation. Something I do quite a lot at up at the hospice, and some of you might have listened into my talks when I've done them for the breathlessness group, when I've done them in the day unit, and for those of you that have started joining our fatigue group before we went into lockdown. So I'm just going to quickly go over some tips and hints to help us manage our energy. It might end up as being a couple of sessions because I'm going to try and cover lots of different tasks at home, so like personal care in the kitchen, hobbies and interests, doing household tasks. So there's a few things that I'm going to go through, so it might be that we run into a couple of sessions on this, which is fine. So when you are ill, or if you're recovering from an illness, so some of the illnesses that I'm talking about is when we are ill. Some of you are suffering from cancer, that have a cancer diagnosis, which either might be curative or it might be palliative. Fatigue can be a big thing, and fatigue can often come into play when we've had treatment. So if we've had chemotherapy or radiotherapy, it's really common to have fatigue post-treatments. And then there's other long-term illnesses which also are affected by fatigue, and those are things like heart failure, multiple sclerosis, motor neurone disease, COPD, lots and of others. That's not an exhausted list. And then to add to that now, we are seeing people that have had COVID and had it quite seriously, either been hospitalised or have been in bed for a prolonged period of time at home with the illness, that you are experiencing post-viral fatigue. So that's when you're getting over a viral illness, when actually the fatigue can leave you as washed out and as unable to do things as you did when you were actually in the grip of the illness itself. So, there's a whole group of us people out there that could benefit from these tips and hints on energy conservation. So I'm going to talk about 3 principles, and that's pacing, planning and prioritising, and then I'm going to work those into different areas. So I think the first thing I was going to look at, I'm just going to go through my notes to remind myself, is washing, personal care, bathing, showering, and how we can use planning, pacing, prioritising in those areas. So hopefully you're going to find this helpful, and hopefully I'm not going to rabbit on for too long. Well, I can't, because I can only rabbit on for 15 minutes at a time, which is good news for you. It means you can go off and get a brew in between times and come and listen to other bits, or tune in whenever you want to and pick up on these bits and pieces. So let's see how we go in 15 minutes, and then I'll record some more sessions as well. Okay, so pacing is all about making sure you have enough energy to cope with a task, and it's all about by putting in short breaks and rests to an activity that you recover quicker from doing it. So a big example of that might be going up the stairs, and that we might go up the stairs, you might have to have a rest going up. As you go, not going all the way up in one go, you might manage a few steps and have a rest for about 30 seconds and then carry on, and then you find when you get to the top of the stairs that you recover more quickly, and you can carry on whatever it is you were going upstairs for. Whereas sometimes people find if they rush up the stairs in one go, that they then have to rest for 10 minutes, and they actually feel tired and fatigued and achy for the rest of the day. So that's just an example. That may not happen to you, just an example. So that's a simple example about how to pace. So you just find you recover faster if you bring pacing into it. The activity might take longer to do, but you'll recover quicker from doing it, even though you might feel that it's taking you, in some instances it can take you half a day or even all day to do an activity, but you've still achieved it. And I always say you've achieved that activity, even if it's taken you a lot longer. And I know that might bring frustration in itself, but you've still achieved the activity. So it's just about comparing that idea of bringing in rest and getting something done over a longer period of time, or doing what we call the big push, where you try and get it all done in one fell swoop and then end up wiped out, say, for the whole of the next day. So that's pacing. Planning is all about working in when you're going to do activity, a bit of a diary approach to it, so planning in things to the day, planning in things to your week that need to be done and those that can be moved. So and being organised. I'm going to talk a lot about being organised when you're actually trying to do a task. And then prioritising is what's the most important, what needs to happen, what doesn't need to happen, what can I put off till tomorrow, what can I put off even to next week, and what really, really needs to be achieved. And sometimes prioritising, that can change. So you might get a phone call from a friend and that changes your priorities, because suddenly an invite comes in to do something and you think, actually, I want to do that over that other thing that I've got organised, or that task, and I'll move that task and prioritise meeting up with my friends. So those are the sort of 3P things that we're going to be looking at. And just to begin with, we're going to have a look at grooming and personal care. So how would you pace if you're having wash, bathing, showering? Well, if you're having a wash or you're grooming, you might be having a shave. Ladies, you might be having a nice cleanse of your face. Then if you can sit down to do that, to wash your face, to brush your teeth, dry your hair, and then have rests after each bit, then that's pacing that activity, allowing plenty of time. If you're having a shower, if you can sit down, then that would be helpful. So if you're really, really struggling with some of these things and you actually think, I need to be able to sit down but I've nothing to sit on, then please don't hesitate to contact me here at the hospice. I might be able to help with some bits and bobs of equipment that can help with that. Patting yourself dry rather than rubbing uses less energy. The other thing I often suggest as well is if you had a shower or bath and it's taking you out of you, if you've got a nice toweling robe, you can put that on and wrap yourself in some towels, put a towel on the bed, and then go and have a lie down on the bed and just give yourself some recuperation time and allow your body to do a bit of natural drying, and then doesn't take as much effort at the end, and you find that you just recover quicker from that, because actually showering and bathing can actually be really energy sapping and can use quite a lot of energy, and you could find you quite tired after that. So how do we plan with our personal care? So it's all about keeping things in the same place. Some of this stuff we do anyway, don't we? We tend to find that the things in the bathroom cupboard, we can get these nice racks that go round the shower that you can keep all your shower gels in and your shower mitts and things like that. And we might have the bubble bath containers round the side of the bath, and then on the bathroom, on your windowsill or close to your sink, you might have your toothbrush holder with your toothbrush in and your toothpaste. It might be that you've got things like that. So that's all about planning. You might already do it. One of the things I was going to suggest is you might have a little basket with things in. So you might be that ladies, you've got all your cleansing stuff in there, and it might be that you've got keep bits of makeup in there, so everything's all together in one place. And guys, you might have your shaving gear, your comb and things like that all together in one place in a little basket where you can just reach it and have it to hand. And that. Talk about trying, if you can, have a mirror that's at face level when you're sitting down. So if you have got somewhere to sit in the bathroom, just having things at that level so that you can sit while you're having a shave, or ladies while you're brushing your teeth, while you're having a cleansing your face, or perhaps putting your makeup on. You can sit down, you might find that helps. Liquid soap lavers more quickly than a bar. So if you've got, I think most of us tend to use liquid soap, but having bar soap is coming a little bit more into fashion really now, with looking at how we're sort of looking after the planet. So you might be that you've got a bar of soap, but actually that uses a bit more energy. So if you are really struggling with fatigue, then liquid soap is easier because you can just squirt it down and it lathers up really quickly. And sometimes just having some bits of equipment as well, like long handled equipment, like you can get shower sponges on shower on long handles that you can use to do your back and your feet. And you can also get these things, I haven't seen them for a while, they're like a suction pad that's shaped like a foot, and it sticks on the floor of the bath or the shower, and you could just put a bit of shower gel on it, and it's because it's small, it's not risk to you slipping, but you could just rub your foot on it and it gives your foot a good clean without having to bend down low. So just little things like that might help. So when it comes to prioritising, it might be that if you love your bath, is it something you're willing to spend a lot of energy on, because it uses a lot of energy? So you might want to prioritise a bath. Not every day, it might be that you have a shower because it's easier, and then you plan the bath in on different times during the week, and try and put some rest time around that so that you've got plenty of time to recover from it. Might plan it early evening so that it's got time to recover from the bath, but you're in a nice relaxed place for bed. Is it necessary to have a shower and bath every day? It might be that you want to have a good strip wash instead, especially if you're early on recovering, say, from treatments and things, and you really are struggling with your fatigue. It might be that that's something that you want to consider, is not actually doing that every day, and perhaps leaving it to when there's other people around you, that so that you can concentrate on the shower or the bath and not have any other jobs to be worrying about. So just simple things like that. When it comes to shampoo, if you're really struggling with fatigue, you can get dry shampoo, which might just give your hair a lift, an instant lift, rather than feeling you have to go through the full washing of your hair, because it is quite hard work. I always think that when you're washing your hair and drying it afterwards, there's a lot of energy involved, and your upper limbs are you're using them a lot, and you can find that it can be quite tiresome from doing that. So anything like that can help you. So that's just a little bit around, just very simply around our personal care. So just as well around, really quickly, about getting dressed. So I've already mentioned about resting up. So if you've had a shower or bath and you want to be resting on the bed for a while, that's great. If you can sit down to get dressed, that helps. It just putting your socks on can be quite tiring, so if you sit down it's easier. Perhaps having being organised, everything ready in one place, all your clothes ready in a pile, ready to go. It might be that you do that the night before and you leave everything ready for the following morning, what you're going to put on, and it's all ready there for you. Some stuff, it might be that you choose easier things, so you might choose things that are easier to put on. You might choose some sort of like elasticated waists, perhaps loose leggings and joggers, t-shirts, things that are just easier to put on than doing, say, lots of buttons up and lots of fastenings. So it might be that you want to think a little bit about what you're going to wear as well. And I think especially during lockdown, we've all become a little bit like loungewear. You're wearing comfortable, loose-fitting clothes because we're not out and about in the same way. And again, if you're going out somewhere important, you've got something important coming up and you want to look your best, and you're choosing what you wear, it might be that you choose an outfit that's easier, but you also might want to plan in ahead and block around that important day some time out to get ready, so that you might put off tasks and things that don't need to be done, that you can push to one side, just so that you've got the energy to do that. So that's very much around group, just personal care. Just coming to the end of our time now, so it's been really good to catch up with you, and I'm going to do another session, and I'm going to be looking at some of the household tasks and cooking, shopping, things like that in the next session. Great to see you all. Take care of yourselves, and if you need me, you can contact me here at Pendleside Hospice and ask for Alison, the occupational therapist. There's a few Alisons, so ask for Alison, the occupational therapist, and I'll be happy to help you. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.